Bloodline, the Bloodline. Can you guys introduce yourself and what you do in the band?
What's up? I'm Travis Neal. I'm the vocalist.
My name is Sean Glass. I play guitar.
I'm Chuck Wupfer and I play lead guitar.
And this over here is Mikey Mike. He plays bass.
Bass. That's right.
Mike Sylvester on lead.
Now, how did the Bloodline come to be?
Some of us were jamming in another band called Dirge Within, and our singer basically up and quit middle of it before a show. So we did a farewell concert, basically, in a way, with a fill-in singer, and then we started looking for singers. We found Travis Neal. Then we started writing a bunch of new songs with Travis, and once we wrote all the new material, we really felt that it was a new beginning. You know? We thought that, is it really Dirge Within anymore? And it really didn't feel that way, even though, you know, some of the nuts and bolts were still there. 3 members from Dirge Within were involved in the band already, but we felt that, you know, rather than be one of those bands that just fucking, you know, melt off the past, you know, kind of start fresh per se, and really, you know, a little more grunt work for sure, man, starting over. But we felt there was a new beginning, and we came across the name of the Bloodline. We felt that really represented the band, the sound, and what we're really going after, you know. And here we are with, you know, 1 album out and playing here tonight. So.
Travis, how did you get in touch with these guys?
Basically, me and Sean have known each other for a while through various bands. And he's been, you know, he's got his ear to the ground in the music scene, so he's been, you know, following stuff that I've done.
Only one ear though.
Unknowing.
Like
so when the time came, he called me up and said, "Hey, would you be interested in doing this?" And I was like, "Well, I didn't have nothing going on, and it sounded good." And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" You know. But we've had history, you know, through, like I said, through mutual bands, and we've known each other and of each other for a long time, and it's kind of cool how
tons of buddies,
how you know, how things work out. You know, I never thought I'd end up working with him. I probably thought he'd never end up working with me, and now here we are. We're about 4 years in, and we got plenty more to go. So,
what would you say was the biggest appeal?
Well, at the end of the day, it's all about you know, the music, the songwriting. I was really into what they were doing before with stuff with Dirge Within. You know, the camaraderie between us all immediately out of the gate. That was a huge thing in the past with bands. You know, you get a lot of this, and you know, this is more of like a family instead of like a business. You know, a lot of bands nowadays run it like a business, and the cool thing about it, the thing that's always kept me, you know, pushing hard and stuff like it, besides the music, is just simply these are my 4 brothers, you know. I mean, Mike here was born a little later in life, but I mean, he became family right away. So I mean, at the end of the day, that's you got to like the people that you're working with, and you got to be able to hang with the people that you're working with, and I've been able to hang with these guys and continue to, because I mean, like I said, we're family. We get along like that.
Yeah. There's a good work ethic between the band, and you know, we know when we have to be serious, we know when we have to be stupid, but we all, and I think that, you know, especially I could say the 5 of us now, because Mike is our bassist. We never had a real bassist before, but we really feel that, I feel that we all really are on the same page musically, what we really think this band should be, from whether we want to be melodic, whether we want to be really heavy or groove, or you know, a little more, you know, aggressive or not in a song. Like, we all kind of agree and go with it. We don't fight over stupid things and argue over, you know, quote unquote local band stupidity, you know.
Now, you've been at it for a long time when it comes to the heavy metal scene.
Like a tree.
Like a tree, right?
I've been uprooted.
There's a long history there.
Yes,
so when you came up with the concept for the Bloodline, did you have something definite in mind at this point, having been through all the experiences you have?
Not really. It just happened naturally, to be brutally honest. It just, you know, it was just another progression in music for me. But I knew that what I wanted us to go after, you know, style-wise, what I thought was right for our sound and what we were writing. But like I said earlier, like, when we want to write a really aggressive, you know, bass-pounding song like The Blackout or something, but has a huge soaring chorus. So it's just a matter of, you know, finding that right sound, but it was never really predetermined, like, we are going to sound like this, or I don't want to sound anything like my past. I mean, of course, you know, it's not a death metal band, and I like death metal, you know. If I want to, you know, get in my car and crank Behemoth, that's what I'm in the mood for. But I don't think that, you know, the Bloodline was ever set out to be some crazy extreme band, but yet it's heavy and melodic, and that's kind of what we're really into is melody, hooks, groove, and fucking balls, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Now, you guys had a lot of advantage because a lot of you spent time being in the scene. So what would you say were some of those pluses when you began the band?
Well, it definitely always helps when you build a history and you develop a relationship with other people in the industry and just become a part of the industry. It's nice. It helps you, because you can call upon friends and stuff like that and be like, hey, can we jump on a show with you or whatever, and they're more inclined to do it. More inclined to do it versus being just a band that just with a bunch of people in the band that are just coming up. So it definitely has helped. Plus, it's good because at the end of the day, it's the professionalism of everybody that's been in the industry and stuff like that. You're not working with people that don't really know how to conduct themselves and the proper way to put the pieces of the puzzle together, and working with people that have done it for a while and have spent time doing it professionally. You get a more of a professional outlook on it, and I believe that it's extremely productive versus not having a history in the industry already. So definitely.
Now, on the contrary, even though you spend time in the industry, trying to reestablish yourself as a new band is always a challenge. What would you say the biggest challenge was for the Bloodline?
It still is branding your band name, because there's so many other bands. There's compared to when I was a teenager starting out, there was not that many bands. Whereas now you go on any social media site and there's just thousands of bands, and they got professional scrims. Their dad bought them the truck. They got everything. They got Pro Tool rig next to them. They got dancers. They got fucking wall-to-wall merch. And it's you have to compete with that, but at the same time, it's all about the songs, man. If you don't have the fucking songs, it doesn't mean shit. And it's about good songs, and I think we write great songs. And I think that's what will hopefully separate us from the herd. And it's about good songs. We don't have a fucking gold limo driving us around the earth, but we have fucking music that we're proud of and that we like, and songs are what really lives at the end of the day, right? When you're dead and buried, everybody wants to fucking remember you from a great song, hopefully.
It's an extreme risk rebranding, especially when we had. These guys already had a brand. They already had, the Dirge Within name. They had several albums under their belt. They had, a following. They had merch. I mean, they were turnkey. They were ready to go. And we took a huge risk, rebranding everything and starting from the ground up, like literally starting from the ground up. And at the end of the day, like Sean said, all of us believed in what we were doing enough to be like, it's worth starting from the ground up again. And it's been a struggle. I mean, it's been uphill climb like this, we're still far from the summit, of going downhill, but it's work that we enjoy, and we all grab that rope and we push as hard as we can and we enjoy it. It's the film at the end of the day, getting a little farther and farther along. So it's definitely worth it in the long run. Rebranding everything,
and it's about playing out and being a live band too nowadays. I think that some of the bands fail to focus on the real things and being a great live band, because you could have the best album cover, the biggest producer, the best like I said, limos and buses, all that bells and whistles, but if you're not a good live band and entertain people and have songs that people can really gravitate to, it doesn't matter, man. And that's what we really feel the Bloodline's about, is writing songs that appeal to a large group of rock and metal listeners, so.
Now, Sean and Chuck, when Bloodline began, you were still part of Broken Hope, which was a little bit established band.
Of course.
Now, how confident were you to give Bloodline a try and let go of Broken Hope?
Well, we we definitely believe in the Bloodline and everything like that. We were doing Dirge before, and we just got to a point with Broken Hope where we said, look, this is what we want to focus on. Those guys can do their thing. We're going to do our thing and kick some ass, So, and plus, we want to play like, we kind of want to play this style of music a lot more than death metal. So,
yeah. And I honestly was like, God, I want to play guitar.
Yeah, I mean, no offense. Nothing wrong with death metal. Our minds weren't there. you know.
Yeah, it was it was fun for what it was, the rebirth, because you couldn't call it a reunion because there was only Jeremy and Sean were, quote unquote, original members or whatever. Even though I'm not original, but and it was kind of fun, during the time we did it, and I'm proud of the album we made, Omen of Disease. Me and Chuck put a lot of hard work into that, and it was cool. But it just kind of ran its course, and I think it was just we came to a point where we're like, we so much more enjoyed doing the Bloodline and just the camaraderie of this band and the genre of music we play. We're just more into it. I love death metal. Don't get me wrong. I grew up on it. But do I really see myself right now playing non-stop brutal death metal every day? Like I can't do it, man. And it's not physically, it's mentally. I just don't really have the heart anymore to play that kind of music.
You have to be happy.
Yeah, and hey, man, worst case scenario, it is what it is. But if I wanted to play in fucking a band that sounded like Supertramp and I was happier playing it, then that's where my heart should be. And this is the music that we write is what I like and listen to. Like the Bloodline is more similar to what I listen to on a daily level, probably, in rock and metal, than just listening to,
Behemoth. We can relate to it.
Behemoth, but I love Behemoth. I think they're awesome.
Now you mentioned about wanting to play guitar. Sean, you mentioned about wanting to play guitar again. How different are you as a player when it comes to playing bass and guitar?
It's so much more depth. It's for me. It's like depth. Oh. Frankie, death. Yes. Right now I feel dead. No, it's just more depth for me because. As a songwriter, it just really wasn't coming out sometimes. Even in Broken Hope and Soil, I always wrote on guitar. So no matter what, when I played bass, I never wrote songs on bass. I wrote some riffs, but I never wrote songs. And as a songwriter, I just was like, hey, I have to play guitar, and that's kind of why I forced myself. Back in the fucking eons before the internet, probably, to force myself to learn how to play guitar so I could actually write songs and show everyone my ideas. Whereas on a bass, like, hey, check out this riff, boom. It's kind of hard to win the band over and get your riff in there, but it's cool. But I love playing bass, man. Like there was times on tour, of course, Broken Hope, that were awesome and amazing, and. Like we had some amazing moments, especially as a playing bass. It's fun, it's heavy and it's brutal and thick and mean. But for guitar playing, there's a little more finesse for me, and I get to show a little bit more of my talent, I guess, in playing guitar. And no disrespect to bass, I love it. I mean, I'm not a bass player like Geddy Lee or Chris Squire or Jack Bruce or some real amazing bass player. But the bands I was playing in really didn't call for that kind of bass,
True.
Except for unless you're Alex Webster, he's the best bass player in death metal, and he deserves that crown.
Yeah,
so, I love that guy.
Now, people who followed you throughout the years, there were a lot of bands that you were part of it, and they're still outside.
They're still following me.
They're still following you.
They won't leave.
Now, the Bloodline is probably unlike anything else you've been part of. How would you describe the music?
It's very groovy, heavy, melodic. Punchy, hooky, and balls.
Huevos.
Balls.
I got huevos.
Yeah, it's melodic rock metal, man. It's got a little bit of everything. I mean,
active rock.
Yeah, well, that's the industry term, but yeah.
One thing I'm noticing right away when I listen to the album is Travis's vocals. He's probably the most flexible vocalist you've ever worked with.
Amen.
By far.
When we want to get heavy.
I mean, he's got possibilities.
Yeah. When we want to get heavy. He's there. When we want to get fucking dark and melodic, he's there. I mean, like you look at a song like The Blackout, which is one of the heavier songs I think on the record, or Destroyer, and then you go to a song like Bedside Sorrow, which is the most melodic song I've probably ever been a part of in any band ever, and his vocals are fucking money. So I like that, and that's what I want in a singer for our band is diversity, but yet being able to pull off everything fucking right.
Can you show the record and say a few things about it? It's somewhere down there.
This record is about a year old, and it's got 12 songs on it, and
2 bonus songs.
I like every song, and there's 2 bonus tracks on the CD.
Yeah, not unlisted.
Unlisted.
That wasn't our fault, but
Secret.
anyway, but yeah, it's We Are One. It's on Another Century/Century Media Records. They put out our first album, but they're not putting out our next album.
Yeah.
But it's a great album, man. I love it.
How did the album do overall?
I guess good. I mean, we have fans, but I mean, I'm not in a bus with Kirk Hammett yet, but but it's good. I mean, it was a great starting point. The only thing was when we signed to Century Media, the entire label changed, entire staff. The president left that signed us. The A&R guy left that signed us, and the label went on a different direction. So it was a weird time, and there's a learning process.
It definitely
They were bought out.
Definitely didn't get the push it deserved.
Yeah.
We didn't get
Some politics played a role that didn't help
Yeah.
pushing We Are One the way we wanted it. But we
we rode it the best we could. We rode the horse and we rode it until we couldn't ride it anymore. And now that it's the ride stopped, we've learned a lot and we regrouped and now we're ready to take the next step and with a lot more knowledge and a lot more we know now what to look out for, what not to look out for, and what we want and what we're going to push for whoever it is that decides to work with us. We know what we want to do and we're not going to settle for half-ass. I'm not saying that the label was half-ass. I'm just saying that I don't think that we had the full push that we needed, but it did well for what we had, and we can't complain.
And also, I really believe in this times and where the industry's headed and is right now is, I'm done looking at album sales. Like, I look at bands' YouTube videos, their social media, and all that. Your YouTube spins and all that really are more important. Your Spotify followers and it's really become that because a band I know right now has a huge top 20 song at radio and their album sales are but their videos and social media stats are huge, and that's really where it's going, man. It's become a digital world, and I don't think the teenagers of the world right now, the millennials they call it, right? Is that the word?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think the
generation.
millennials. I don't think those people that are into rock and metal go to the stores like we did as kids. They don't run to Best Buy and buy a CD on street date. They go to iTunes or they go to fucking torrent sites and find it.
Or they listen on Spotify.
Yeah. Or they go to streaming legal sites, which are great. Apple and Pandora and Spotify. Or they go to fucking iTunes and buy digital copies because they don't want to fucking lug a big CD around, and that's their decision. But I think that it's really more about that than saying, hey, we sold 500,000 albums. Hey man, for a band like Disturbed and Metallica that are still selling gold records, that's great. But for the other bands that are underneath them, far, far down the ladder, it's really not going to be about that anymore. And as it's progressing, the physical CD is really dying. And obviously, the resurgence of vinyl. More bands are selling vinyl than anything right now in metal. In metal, especially, people want vinyl.
True.
And cassette tapes are making an eerie comeback as well.
Yeah.
That's sketchy.
Demo tapes are next.
Got that mixtape for you.
Vaughns is a normal bias and only in the left channel. I like that demo.
Yeah.
Get that 4-track recording when you play it on a regular radio. It's like.
Speaking of the album, there were quite a few cuts that could have been really big mainstream hits.
Yeah.
Do you think you kind of missed the boat on that?
It wasn't us.
Because I felt like, wow, why isn't that like
On the
if
radio.
MTV was MTV, some of the songs should have been staples there.
Yeah.
Again, that goes with the proper push,
Yeah.
the proper backing. Obviously we did our part. I mean, you listen to that record and you can tell that we've all put everything that we had into that, and we set out to write the best record that we could, and I believe that we achieved that. And I believe that if there would have been other doors that were supposed to be opened, I believe that definitely there would have been more. You would have heard this thing a lot more than you did. A lot of what you hear is us on the work of our own backs. We realized that things weren't going the way that we needed it to go, so we just took the reins ourselves and did the best that we could with the resources that we had. So
it's all a learning process, man.
Absolutely.
I've been through the maze a million times, but you gotta slug it out. But it's all about being a good band and believing in what you do and fight the fight and believe that what's right.
Now, what about the new songs, new material? How is that
We're
shaping
playing
up?
one tonight. We are playing a brand new song. We're about almost 10 songs into writing for the next album, and we're trying to write hopefully another 10 more before we start recording the new album. And hopefully we should be in the studio by late February. So
how do you feel the band is progressing? I mean, is it more the same vein? Do you experiment?
I think there's a good balance right now. I think there's some stuff that's a little more melodic and a little different. Then there's some stuff that's very true to form to We Are One. So I think once we pick the right songs, when we're done with the puzzle, I think we'll have the right picture.
Now you've mentioned that Century Media will no longer be involved. So do you have anybody else in mind?
We are talking to a few labels right now. So hopefully we can have a home before we start recording the album. So.
Okay.
There's some cool people talking to us right now. So we just we want to make sure that they believe in the band as much as we believe in the band. And the people that are showing interest definitely seem like it, but we just want to make sure. But the main thing is we've been really focusing on writing and not rushing the songs. But we're right now at a good place with songwriting for the next album.
Cool. Finally, question to everyone, and I'll ask everyone: what is the best thing about this band for you?
Best thing about it is how well we all get along. We are a family. We all are one, just like the album is titled, and it's great to be a part of.
What Mike said definitely, and the chemistry. We all kind of live in different areas. These guys are based in the Midwest. I live in San Diego, so I don't get together with them as much as I do. But it's crazy when we get together. It's like like I was just here a week ago, and when we get together and we write, it brings the best out of me as a musician, and that's what I love. The chemistry is undeniable. It's amazing. So that's what I love the most about it. I love the music that we make.
For me, it's awesome to be around band members that are serious and professional as I always strive to be, and have fun at the same time, but know that we got our eye on the prize and that we want to fucking kill you. Yeah, we want to fucking kick your ass. And we're serious, but there's time for fun. But we don't get wasted and fucking be stupid and get drunk and trash fucking dressing rooms and just be immature drunk retards falling on the stage and not knowing the lyrics to our songs, because that's just not how we roll. And I think that there's a time and a place to have fun, but when the five of us are together, we know that we really want to fucking be serious and have fun, but be professional and be a great fucking band.
I gotta say, it's definitely the guys in the band. Everyone's easy to work with. The music's killer, and we have a great time. So, yeah.
What about you, Frankie?
Frankie I made it. I made it on camera.
Finally made it.
Hey,
late entry.
Lead drums. Just the guys in the band, and I just love being able to bust their balls all the time. That's what I'm meant.
He is the verbal razor.
$60, Travis.
$60. I'm never gonna hear the end of it until I give him that 60.
And that other 30.
That is the best, though. Just playing
we do
shows
get,
and stuff, so.
There's a good camaraderie. It's been nice. And,
You can definitely feel the enthusiasm here.
Absolutely.
We're a bunch of goofballs, but
No doubt.
So, thanks for
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Rock hard.